This automation will handle inbound leads for any service business.
Hi, thanks for calling Saxon Solar. My name is Janet. How can I help you?
Hi Janet, can I make a free consultation appointment?
Certainly. I will need some details to schedule your free consultation. Could you please provide your first name?
It's Elon.
Thank you, Elon. Could you please provide your last name?
Musk.
Thanks, Elon. May I have your phone number, please?
555-555-5555.
Thank you. Could you also provide your email address?
elon.musk@gmail.com.
Got it. Please confirm your property address.
123 Made Up Avenue.
Thank you. Are you the homeowner? Yes, no.
Yes.
Thank you. Do you currently have solar installed on your property? Yes, no.
No.
Great. What date and time would you prefer for the consultation?
Are you available at 9 a.m. on July 5th?
Checking availability for July 5th at 9 a.m. July 5th at 9 a.m. is not available. Would you be available on July 7th between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m.?
Yes, go for July 7th at 11 a.m.
Booking your consultation for July 7th at 11 a.m. Your consultation has been scheduled for July 7th at 11 a.m. Thank you, Elon. And if you have any questions before then, feel free to contact us. Have a great day.
And you, bye. You can see that I'm inside of cal.com, and this is the calendar application that integrates with Retell AI for now, and it's booked the appointment between Saxon Solar and Elon Musk. The time is a little bit off because this is to Singapore time, but I'm just showing you as an example. Obviously, if this was a live production system, you'd align it to your client's time zones. And the other thing you want to do is you just want to head over to event types, and you want to create an event. So for this example, I've created one for Saxon Solar, and you'll see why in a second. So head over to Retell AI to sign up for a free account. You are going to need some tokens in here. So I think I topped up like $10 just to test it. And what you want to do is you want to create a voice agent with using a single prompt and start from blank. Okay, and it will take you to this agent here. So let me just click inside of here to show you how to set this up. And so for this, I've used GPT 4.1 Nano just because it's cost effective and it's pretty quick. And for the voice, I've used Simo, which is just default one, but there's a bunch of voices here you can test. So by all means, go ahead and test that. And language is obviously English. And so for the actual prompt, it's you are Janet from Saxon Solar, a residential solar roofing company based in Austin, Texas. Now this line would be relevant to whatever business you are covering. Your single objective is to book a free consultation for solar roofing installation. Ask only what's necessary to schedule the appointment. So again, this is the context, and this will be completely dependent on the service that your client or yourself is offering. Then you want to put a current date in there, purely because it's just going to bring up random dates on the calendar when you do access that. So you definitely want to have a current date, which is this field here. And then for the calendar time zone, I've just put it to PSD. Again, you would just set it up and align it to whatever time zone your clients are in. And then we're going to collect the following information. So as you heard on the call, Janet asked for first name, last name, phone number, email address, property address. Are they homeowners? Do they currently have solar installed? Preferred date and time for the consultation. And so these are the variables I'm going to be using for that, okay? And this is what's going to be passed. This is a payload that's going to go to the webhook and into Anytent. So before confirming the consultation, use check availability cal and cal.com. So if you go over to functions on the right hand side, there are some functions that I recommend that you set up. The first one is to check availability. So if you go inside of here, you can call it whatever you want. This is to check the availability. So basically it reads the calendar, right? And the point of this is to make sure that A, you have availability, B, to make sure that you're not booking two appointments on the same time at the same day. And then you want the API key. So if you head over to cal.com again, go to settings, go to API keys, just give a name, create an API key, and then paste that over. The other thing you're going to need is if you go back to events, click inside the event, you're going to set up the availability, and so whatever time your clients are available, you want to get the event ID, which is this number here in the URL. Go back over here and then just paste it to the event ID. And then the time zone will just default whatever is in there, but you can align it to your clients. That's the availability. Then you want to do the same for booking. So you can call it whatever you want. This is just the default naming convention from Retell. Again, it's going to be the same API key and the same event ID inside of Cal. And the other two that you want is you want to transfer calls. So sometimes there might be a situation where the AI agent can't handle it because it's a very nuanced kind of question, or it's a question that you haven't asked inside of the prompt. You haven't built a prompt around it. You can actually transfer the call to a human being, which is highly recommended in certain situations. So you just transfer the call to a human, you just put a name in there and it'll just transfer over. I've just left it as a cold transfer. You can do a warm transfer, which is basically a handover. So the AI agent would talk to the human being before passing it over. And because you have a warm transfer, you can have like a hold music or whatever on the user side, the lead side. And then last thing you want is an end call. This sounds very obvious, but it's not something that Retell actually does. So you actually need to call it at the end of the prompt. And I'll show you where that comes. So once we've checked availability, we are then going to, if the slot is free, we're going to book an appointment, calling the book appointment _Cal. Then I've given us some company information. So this is the company information for my client, right? Or for this fictitious client at Saxon Solar. I think it's a good idea to put that in there because clients might ask you to worry based, what times you're open, what's your phone number, email address, etc. So definitely want to capture that, and it's relatively easy information to get a hold of, right? Then maintain a professional and efficient tone. Do not make small talk or deviate from the objective. This is a language model, so you want to make sure that you give it some guardrails. Otherwise, the conversation is going to just kind of go off the rails, right? If you're not sure, transfer it to a human being using transfer underscore call. When you are done, just end the call. Now, there is something else that might be useful for you, and that is a knowledge base. So what you can do is you can actually add PDFs. So think of, rate cards, services, names of services. If you're like a spa, what type, what do you get in XYZ, that kind of stuff. A lot of these businesses will have PDFs, so you can actually upload it into a knowledge base. Or if they have everything on a website, you can just get the website, plug that into here, and what Retell will do is actually use AI and crawl the entire website and get the information back for you. So again, you are leveraging the power of AI. So for this example, I created a CRM because I don't actually use CRM myself. You would actually plug in HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever the client uses, and you can see that it's captured the first name, the last name, the phone number, the email address, the physical address, homeowner status, solar installation status, and the call summary. So let me show you how you can go ahead and build this automation inside of NA10. As with all automations, you are going to need a webhook. So trigger this with a webhook. And there's two different URLs here. There's a test URL and a production URL. If you're going to sell this as a service or sell it to a client, you are going to need to go into production. For this, I've just left in test. And the method is post. I've given it a path called Saxon Solar, purely because it just gives some random long kind of alphanumeric string. And I think if I just have the name of the actual client here, it's going to make it a lot more kind of user-friendly and also a lot tidier, right? And then the response is going to be immediate. So as soon as the call is ended, it will trigger the webhook and send the payload over here. The next thing I've added is an AI agent. So for this, if you go inside of the agent here, you're going to see that you are analyzing a transcript or phone call between the customer and Janet, a voice AI agent from Saxon Solar. Your task is to summarize the entire call in 50 characters or less, extract and return the following details as separate JSON fields. So for me, it's just booking a solar roofing consultation. Your client they might have a lot more services, so you definitely want to have a limitation of 50 characters or less. Otherwise, the call summary is going to be huge. Right, so for the JSON fields, I've got call summary, first name, last name, email address, phone number, address, homeowner, solar installed, appointment. Again, these are going to be very relevant to whatever business you're working with. And then the input is going to be the call transcription. So it's just this field here, which is coming from the webhook. And then the output is a JSON object. And because we're asking it for a JSON object, we are going to require a specific output format to be toggled. And because of that, we're going to need a structured output parser. All this means is that I can use these fields downstream, which is going to be updated in this node here. But before I go there, I'm just going to show you what the JSON looks like. So I've just put in call summary, first name, last name, phone number, email address, homeowner status, solar installed, and appointment. And then the next node is going to be an amend or update Google Sheets row. Now, this is because I don't use a CRM. If you are using a CRM or if your client has a CRM, just plug that into this node here. It's more or less the same thing. So I'm just selecting the document, the sheet. I'm going to map each column manually, and then I'm going to match it for the first name. So all you do is just map the fields over, right? Because the previous agent, the AI agent, has actually passed these variables. We've created these variables, it's passed them, so we can actually use them. So first name is obviously first name, last name is last name, phone number is phone number, email address, the same, address, homeowner status, solar installed, call summary. All right, and that's what's going to save it inside of the CRM. And then the last node, I mean, this could be whatever you want it to be, right? It could be, it could be the CRM that your client is using. It could be an email, if you want to send an email notification, not the lead information, but just like an email notification. Or what I think is a good idea is a Slack notification. So what I've done is I'm not sending them the lead information. All I'm saying is like a notification. So I've connected it to a Slack channel called New Solar Lead. And so if I open this up, all it does is yay, a new lead, right? And it will send this message inside of Slack. And then instead of sending the lead details, all I've done is check the details here, and I've put in a link to the CRM, right? Now what you could do is you could put in a short URL once the CRM has been updated. And so instead of this node, so if I go back to the automation, instead of this being a CRM inside of Google Sheets, you'd have like HubSpot, for example. And then once that lead has been added to the HubSpot database, you can then create a short URL, and then you can just output that short URL here, right, as a dynamic field. But because I don't have one, I'm just doing this the simplest way, which is just a CRM inside of Google Sheets. And there you have it. That's the automation in a nutshell. And if you want access to great automations and a great community, click on the link in the description and sign up to the Automation Kings Skool community. I've got a bunch of resources that can help you, such as how to launch an AI agency in 16 days. So it took me 30 days to launch. That was from idea to building the agency to getting my first client, which paid me, I think it was about $1,000 for 3.5 hours work. And I can show you how to do that and compress it into 16 days, right? Because I'm going to show you all the shortcuts that I didn't know when I was doing it. And the last thing I want to show you is the AI automations and blueprints. I've got a bunch of automations like this one that you're seeing on this video. I've also got some automations that haven't been shared on the YouTube channel. It's just for my private community, and you're going to get everything in there. You're going to get the video tutorial, but you're also going to get the actual code that's needed for example in this workflow, and you're going to get the blueprint. So all you need to do for this example is just upload this blueprint into NA10 and just follow the instructions in the video. So thanks for watching this video today. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Give me a like or a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Turn your notifications on, and I'll see you when the next video drops. Have a great day.